Good day to you. Joshua here. Um, if you're not back to worshiping with us, we miss you. I miss you. I miss you a lot. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that you've chosen to listen, listen to a lesson, listen to my thoughts, listen to God's word, and doing this and spending time with God is the most important thing that we can do today. What is patience? Now, the internet, or Merriam-Webster, defines patience as the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Now, my definition of patience is being able to wait in a situation that you do not want while anticipating something else or something better. Having patience is the ability to wait, the ability to hold on for a moment or a few moments. It's the ability to just sit down where you're at and to be content while you're waiting on something else. Now, some people struggle with patience on a daily basis. They're always in a rush, or they're always wanting to get to the next thing. We all know people that are just impatient by nature. They're just always on the go, and they're always ready to just keep moving and keep going, and they don't have time to wait on you or anybody or the situation. They're just very impatient people. Maybe you're an impatient person. Maybe that's who you are. Maybe that's who your personality is. Thinking of myself, patience is not something that I struggle with personally. I like to think that I'm usually not in a huge rush. You ask my wife, I'm usually not a very quick person. She calls me a sloth all the time because getting ready or going places or doing things, I'm never really in a rush. So I tend to be pretty patient. Patience is my whole life. I've never really struggled with patience until right now. And I find myself being very impatient. And a lot of it, or all of it, comes from the restrictions that we have because of COVID-19. And I think of all the restrictions that we have, like in Walmart, wearing a mask, in restaurants, restricted by having to wear something, or I can only go certain places, or I think of public gatherings. You're only supposed to have so many people at your house. You're not supposed to exceed a certain number. I think of even here at worship, there are restrictions. We have every other pew taped off, and we have people over in the annex. And people are restricted. Some people are not even coming back to worship. And I miss those people. I think of the Stanfords and the Laytons and like Jeremy and Sonia Hood. I miss all of those people, and I hate the restrictions that we have because of health or age or anything like that with this COVID. I think of being from Mississippi. There was a time with restrictions that we really couldn't go. Morgan and I couldn't go and see our parents. More so Morgan's than mine. She hasn't seen her parents in July, and before that it was March. And a lot of that is because her parents are taking care of Morgan's grandparents. So they can't come in contact with people, and they're not going out to eat, and they're not going in stores or doing pickup. I see them having a lot of restrictions. And I think of people in their jobs and how they've had restrictions. Whatever your job may be, you might have had restrictions. So many people in the lobby, or you have to wear a mask, or any of these things. And just with your job, you might have restrictions. With my job, I've had restrictions. I think of how, during the summer we had a few devotionals here at the building, but now we can't have any activities at the building. I think about how at the beginning of this year, me and Ken Ezel had made a whole schedule for the Young at Heart. We were going to go make day trips and just have a great time with those group of people, and we can't do that anymore. I think of how, before COVID, I was able to plan events at people's houses, devotionals or get-togethers or the back-to-school bash or any of those types of things, and how I'm not able to do that now. I'm restricted. So in those restrictions, I know we all are starting, at least me, starting to feel a bit impatient. And this past week, I looked at a passage, and I shared this thought with Rodney and Marie. But I looked at this passage, Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 40, looking at verses 28 through 31. Isaiah 40, verses 28 through 31. Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is an everlasting God, the Creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. I think about this passage and how right now, where I am, and my impatience, how I'm just ready. I'm ready to do events, and I'm ready to plan things, and I'm ready to be with the body as a whole. This week, I needed this passage. I needed God to speak to me with this. Going back to verse 28, have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the Creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. It asks the question, have you not known? Do you not know this about God? God is everlasting. So I see myself in these past 7 months. It's a long time. These past 7 months of not really being able to be with each other. And I think of man, that's wasted time, or that's time that's lost, and I get antsy. And I've thought about these 7 months and how God, he's not antsy. He's not impatient, because he is everlasting. There's no end to God. So 7 months is nothing to him. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. I think about how I've tried to have a better understanding of what to do and how to do it, and how I've tried to be creative with events or getting together. And I think of how the elders here are trying to get back together and don't know what to do in some cases, and are searching for answers, just as everybody in the world, and especially those who are leading congregations. They're searching for answers, and they're doing the best that they can. I think about God and how his understanding is unsearchable. He knows what to do. He understands. He understands everything when we struggle to understand even one thing of COVID-19. Verse 29, he gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. I know for a fact that some people, their faith and their relationship with God, it's grown weaker during this time. Because, to be honest, mine has. There are times during this whole crisis that I've felt so far away from God. And I've felt faint, as this word, the word that is used here. But it says here that he gives power to the faint. And to him, listen to this, who has no might, has zero might, he increases strength. God gives us the strength that we need. Verse 30, even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. So it doesn't matter if you're a new Christian or an old Christian, or if you're a young person or an older person, or unexperienced or experienced. Everyone grows weary at times. And I would say that during these past 7 months, almost everyone has grown weary. So it's nothing special for me to be impatient, because a lot of us are sharing in those same feelings and those same emotions. Verse 31, but they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and they shall not faint. I find myself waiting for something to happen, for COVID, I guess, to magically just poof away. And that's not what I should be waiting for. I should be waiting for the Lord, because he's going to take care of anything and everything that happens in our lives. Instead of waiting for something in this world to happen, we should be waiting on God. And if we do, they shall renew their strength. They shall mount up. I don't know what it's like to mount up with wings like eagles. Never flown like an eagle flies, with wings on its back, and it propels itself up from the ground and takes flight, and all on its own, it's flying, seamless, gliding through the air. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. These past few weeks, I've been a little impatient, becoming more and more impatient as the weeks go on. And maybe some of you are the same way. Maybe you're wanting something to happen, something to change. And I challenge all of us this week and the weeks going forward that we wait for the Lord and that he will renew our strength. He will help us to mount up with wings like eagles. And in our running, we shall not grow weary. And in our walking, we shall not grow faint. I have 2 challenges for you this week. The first one is to be patient. This is a challenge for myself as much as anyone, to be patient, because this will pass. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it looks like for this thing to pass. It might be just us learning and understanding how to deal with it and how to go on through life with it, or it may just go away. I don't know. But I do know that it will pass. My second challenge for you this week is to read this chapter, Isaiah chapter 40. I want you to read it, and I want you to look at these verses that we've looked at, verses 28 through 31, and ask yourself, why did the writer end with such a strong statement? But for they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. We love you. I love you. And if there's anything you need, please let us know. Have a great day.
Teach me, Lord, to